We bought a seemingly worthless Boxster for $500 and we're turning it into a 1960s inspired supercar. Last week we shaped the aluminum panels for the nose of our car. Our goal this week is to do our air intake and make space for our new driving lights. All that and less in this week's episode of Project Jigsaw.
So last week we got this nose panel made here and the corner piece here. However, we still need to make the corner piece on this side. So I'm gonna use my template. We're gonna get started with getting that made. So then we can get the base of the nose figured out and then start punching holes and figuring out the layout for the intakes. Is it this way? No, it's this way. I was right all along. It's this way. This is why I'm supposed to label the panel. I got my template cut out here, so I need to give it some shape and some form to fit this area. When I did the other side last week, I learned that a lot of it is actually form, which is just kind of doing this and bending it over my leg to have some radius to it.
Is that the definition of form, is bending it on your leg?
Kinda, yeah. If I haven't explained it before, shape is when you invoke shrink or stretch to a panel, whereas form is like folding like a hot dog bun. You just kind of. The really, really basic way to remember this is if you can easily undo it with your hands, it's form. Look, we're done already.
All right, next panel.
Next panel. See, just by bending it over my knee, I already have that kind of close to where we're going. Now I'll go a step further and add some shape. And the top here needs to be shrunk and rolled over, and the bottom needs to be flanged. If you watched the last video, you already know what's about to happen. And if you didn't watch the last video, it's planishing time. Who makes penetrant that smells like cherry? Like, what's the point of that? It's kind of amazing how fast that shapes. That was maybe 2 minutes, and it's already got that much of a curve to it. I love aluminum. I'm gonna have to rebend the backside now because it changed the radius when I did all that. Good old English knee. Does that look pretty good?
It does. Yeah. Yep, actually through the camera and not through the camera.
That's a double win right there. All right, let's flange the bottom. This video has been paid for and sponsored by Upside. Upside is a cashback app that enables people to get more value from their purchases and improves the profitability of local businesses so communities grow stronger. They have partnered with over 30,000 businesses and 25,000 gas stations. So here's how it works. You can open up the app and claim an offer for whatever you're buying, whether it's gas, food, or groceries. And then you just pay as you normally would using a credit or debit card, not available to use with cash. The cash appears in your Upside account and you can cash out anytime. As you can see here, I got $8.22 back the last time I got gas at Speedway. You can then receive the cash through bank transfer, PayPal, or e-gift card. Users are earning 3 times more cash back through Upside than any other similar product. Top Upside earners are earning as much as $300 per month. To find out how much you can earn, click the link in the description down below and use code Crucible to get an extra 25 cents back for every gallon on your first tank of gas. Or scan the QR code here to claim this offer. Thank you Upside for sponsoring this video. Now let's get back to work. Oh, something like that. I'm going to build an amphibious car in this channel someday.
But not with this one.
Not with this one, but we are going to build an amphibious car.
I'm down for that.
Because that sounds like a lot of fun and it's challenging. And I like both those things, fun and challenge. Oh, wait. Whatever car it is, it has to have a roof because I do not like the sun and I'm not trying to go out in the water.
Sun doesn't like you either.
No.
The sun hates you.
Have you seen my skin? Me and the sun don't get along. That flange worked out pretty good. Now I gotta do the front and the top. little bit like that.
That looks better already.
That actually worked out pretty well. Let's use the old scientific method. F around and find out.
We've still got shaping to do on the panels for our nose, but before we do any shaping that we're gonna cut out anyway, we want to configure our radiator opening and our driving light openings, and that way we're not doing any backstepping.
It's time to do some more clay.
Woo-woo, fun with clay.
Yeah, baby.
Arts and crafts.
That's what we do on this channel, arts and crafts. Saturday morning cartoon vibe.
Yep. Time to do your picture pages.
You just dated yourself.
I did, big time.
Yeah, I think a big challenge is we have a lot of real estate vertically here to make it not feel as tall, because a lot of the 60s cars we're going after are like really squished, and with our limitations of the chassis, we're a little on the tall side here, but I don't think it's a bad thing.
I mean, and again, I think if you look at the Miura, it's definitely tall. It's definitely a little vertical on this front plane. But if you look at the GT40, we're a little more in line.
Which the GT40 was like the main inspiration for this car.
For me, it was really a combination of both. But I think this shape in particular, I definitely wanted to lean towards the GT40 side.
It absolutely does.
Yeah. And I mean, that was intentional. So now we just got to work with it. This cap just left a trail of liquid.
Yeah, I think it's one of the ones that went through the wash in one of my pockets. I brought it back though.
What does your wife think about this when she pulls markers out of the laundry?
I'll tell you right now, there's a pile of them by the front door for me to bring to the work, and I keep forgetting them there, so.
You're buying the next batch of them.
Honestly, I kind of like the whole like round headlights and round driving lights thing.
Yeah.
It's kind of like more like a rally car.
Yeah, that's kind of been in my head the whole time, yeah.
Yeah, we're doing whatever we want.
Yep.
That's the beauty of building. That's the beauty of building your own car. You can do whatever you want with it.
Yeah, and it's just inspiration. That's the beauty of not trying to do a replica. I mean, the hard part is you got to design everything, but the nice part is you can do whatever you want.
If you're new here, this is a 1/6 scale clay model of the car we're building. We use it to begin our design process and then make our tooling for the actual physical car. So being able to go back to it and figure out our layout for the driving lights and the front intake is very handy. You can fudge a sketch and you can fudge a CAD model.
Yeah, you can make all kinds of sketches that can never even happen in real life.
Yep.
But the clay model will bring it all out.
Rather than have this like be separate there, I had an idea. And it makes it a little bit more Miura this way. But if we like have this actually
come around the outside of it.
Come around to the bottom of the light here, and then this not go to the top of the light instead.
Right.
And have it wrap around and then come flat up across the top.
Right.
It gives it a little bit more dimension.
So that the light is in the opening. Oh look, use a marker, don't carve on the clay.
You can fill it back in, we have the technology.
The minute he gets into it, he just starts carving everything out.
Well, because I gave up quicker than you did. That's the secret. You gotta give up quicker. If you give up quicker, then you can move forward. There's a lesson here somewhere.
That's an interesting...
There's a lesson
here. If you give
somewhere.
up quicker, you can move forward.
Listen, if you love this car, you gotta let it go.
Yeah, so I think what we have to go for is what we were talking about, which is a shape of the car and then we cut openings out of it.
Yeah, if we try to make it too curvy or like three-dimensional, we're gonna lose that 60s vibe. And we want 60s vibe. Like, as much as I really wanna extend a chin out here to like give it some more dimension, that won't fit the car at all. Or the Era rather. So, also don't mind how my lines are like kind of straight, but not really.
I mind it. The reason we started doing this is Ryan and I were having a big discussion about whether or not we continue forward with the aluminum shaping, cutting, and welding that we were doing, and we didn't want to backtrack. I really didn't think we were going to, and I think this proves that we weren't. Let's say the light's that size, so it's all but 1 inch, so it'd be 6 inches.
Yeah, so we need a 6-inch headlight. Well,
Right.
Driving light.
Driving light, right, yep.
So 6 inches in there. The car itself, what, like that? Is it 6 inches from pinky to thumb? Where's your tape measure that you brought over? I've been using this at 6 inches like my whole life. So or not whole life, but
you know your
6 inches?
fingers have grown. That's 7 1/4.
Okay, so that's 6 inches.
That's 6 inches.
So that,
Right about there.
like that.
Yep.
I'd say a little lower because the bottom of the light is the bottom of the
Yep.
thing. Yeah, about right there maybe.
Right. It's pretty low now.
Yeah, it's a little, we should bring it up.
Bring it up. Exactly what I wanted to do.
Tony, we said up, not up and to the right.
All right, so we decided to stop eyeballing it and take a couple of measurements.
Yeah, I don't know why we didn't do that in the first place.
Right, because I like to measure.
I know.
And you don't.
I know. I'm putting my heart and soul into this circle, and it's not enough apparently. We have a plan that'll make this much easier when we actually fabricate the hole, but we'll go into that in a couple minutes. First, we got to get the hole figured out.
That's about it.
I like that.
All right, so we got this laid out exactly about 1.5 to 2 inches in from where we want it to be.
Yeah, it needs to go out that way a little bit further, but we're not gonna redraw it again.
Yeah, nope. So we're gonna scan this and that'll be the beginning of making our hammer form. We're gonna design it on CAD and print it out.
I had an idea to take a piece of cardboard and put it completely vertical on the backside here, so when I 3D scan this, I have a frame of reference with the ground when I flip it in the computer. It'll make more sense when I do it here, but I think this will work well. The only way to be able to scan is reflective stuff. We're gonna be using the Morocco 3D scanner again by RevoPoint. We used it last time on this project. It worked great, a lot better than the previous scanner we've been using. So this is gonna be the first time that we're gonna do like a nose scan on a car, and also probably the biggest scan I've done in one scan on a project. Two things I really like about the scanner are, number one, it's all in one. I can scan and process on here if I want to. And two, I can send the files over Wi-Fi to the laptop, so I don't have to have it plugged into a laptop. To go back to point one, the other scanner we had to be plugged into the laptop at all times, so you're tethered down the whole time. This, I could throw in the air and catch it if I want to while I'm scanning.
I don't recommend it.
A little nonsense now and then is relished by the wisest men.
I realized I didn't need the entire nose, so I just did half. The other thing is the tracking got a little bit wonky because I wasn't using markers, so you put like little dots throughout the panel to help it track. on a panel like this, where they're so big and smooth and not many features, it's kind of hard for it to track with. So to mitigate some risk, I just did part of the nose and came out really nicely. Let's get in the fusion here and get our hammer form made. So what I did here was I took my 3D scan, put it in Fusion 360, and then I made a form that follows the 3D scan right here. And then I took that form, cut it out of the cylinder I made. So then now I have this. This is what's known as a hammer form. I'm going to 3D print this. That should do it.
So our piece is still printing, but that's not the real problem.
Yeah.
The radius on the corner is a lot sharper than I was thinking.
We're typically in sync with our design ideas and decisions, and we kind of like, you know, we like finish each other's sentences kind of thing.
Yeah, most of the things that go unsaid didn't need to be said because we both knew them.
Yeah.
This is a rare instance of that not being the case.
So if you look at GT40, the intake on the nose is very rounded on the edges. It's probably like, it's pretty significant. It's a couple inch radius. And I didn't look at that when I modeled these hammer forms. I was thinking a sharp edge would fit the car well and not considering a different option.
And I was thinking about the radius on, you know, like a GT40, and so I didn't consider another option.
Yeah. That being said, I was super stoked because we had 2 printers running overnight to print these parts. One of them's almost done right now, the other one finished. However, they're basically useless now.
We could go with this design, but I mean,
no compromises.
Really,
We're not going to compromise because we used $30 of filament.
Oh, no, I would, yeah, I agree. I don't want to compromise because of the time, or the time's even worse than the filament.
Yeah.
But no, I don't want to compromise for that reason. I don't mind revisiting a subject when something changes, but I think revisiting it, I come to the same conclusion where I was before, and I think I've taken you over to my side.
Yes, no, I agree. I think a softer radius would be better.
So we got to start over on that. The problem with that is we're almost to the point where we have to post this video.
Yeah, it's currently Friday. It's Friday morning, you know, Eastern Standard Time in the U.S. We post Saturday morning Eastern Standard Time in the U.S.
We're behind where we normally are, and we ran into a much larger snag than we ever do.
Fortunately, I think this is the first time that we've had a snag this big last minute that actually impeded
our ability to move forward. Yeah,
move forward.
Yep, definitely.
Yeah, and that's something that you'll have on these bigger jobs, I think.
And we're showing it.
Yeah, we're showing it. Yep. Why do we show this stuff to everybody?
Yeah. Misery loves company. Right?
Exactly. Yeah. So if you're at home working on a project and you know you get all the tools out, your parts from Summit showed up, and you're ready to put on your carburetor onto your Mustang, and you find out you have the wrong gasket, we sympathize with you.
Yep.
So there goes your Saturday.
Now we just got to figure out what we're going to do next. All right.
I think that's enough.
Now we have to exactly figure out what we're going to do.
So the edge here is 1.5 millimeters is what I made it. Because I just thought we were going sharp. Is that a little bit better, you think?
Yeah. I'm amazed at how much rake there is in this. When you just look at it, when you look at it from afar sometimes in certain angles, it seems like this is very vertical. But you can see it's not.
It's very much not.
It fades away pretty hard to this corner.
It's like a 45 almost.
Yeah.
Almost.
When I saw this printing, I'm like, really? And so, you know, you hold it up and there's curves here, so it's not going to just fit on there, but
that's perfectly vertical.
yeah.
The side is, the radius is wrong, but that's right.
But the rest of this is right. We didn't want to print a mistake, or reprint a mistake. So I wanted to check this since we had it sitting here before we start another print. The other thing we can do is check the fitment around our lights.
Oh yeah, they just showed up, didn't they?
Yeah, we got our lights. Our Hella 500 driving lights, because fog lights are worthless.
Absolutely.
But look at that fit.
Woo! It fits perfectly, especially
really,
since the panels we're working with are 2 millimeters thick. So you got to subtract that from the gap.
That's going to, yeah.
And that'll be a nice tight fit for sure.
Like a glove.
So the concept of a hammer form is a little bit in the name of itself. The idea is to take this piece of plastic, screw it in behind the panel, the nose panel of the car. We'll have the flange cut out, we know, with like a border left over, and then we can hammer that flange over against the plastic, and then it forms it to the exact shape that we need without any deviances. Because if we tried to bead roll this circle by hand, there is no way we can get it to be perfect.
Can you say deviations without any deviations? I feel like you're doing something wrong when you say deviance.
Did I say deviances?
Yeah.
Oh.
It's the second time. So this makes perfect sense.
It makes a lot of sense, and I'm actually very excited because this is the first, I mentioned it earlier I think, but this is the first time I've modeled something on the computer that has such a flowing design that's supposed to butt up against a not flat panel, and I think it turned out really nicely.
Bad news is we hit a huge snag and now our momentum for this week is gone, as well as our time. Good news is 3D Maker's warehouse had the filament we needed in stock so we can reprint these with the correct radius, and next week's progress will be twice what you normally see because we also have all of this aluminum tubing. See if you can guess what this is for. So we won't be at Carlisle today because we are working on Jigsaw, which means you'll see double the progress next week, but you're not going to see us at Carlisle. We'll miss you. Sorry.